Good evening, YouTube. I would like to talk about Godzilla. He is one of my favorite monsters of all time. I did have at one point a very extensive VHS Godzilla collection. However, when I moved, a lot of my VHS tapes got put into my sister's storage. Others were, the DVD parts were put into my other storage unit. So, I am trying to rebuild my collection. Now, what I do have in terms of DVDs, I'm going to show. I did have Terror of Mechagodzilla on DVD, but the DVD thing broke. So all I have is the actual case, no DVD with it. So what I did is I bought, for Christmas for myself, I bought the Godzilla collection set that has Terror of Mechagodzilla. Now, what I did is I bought a Mechagodzilla, the 50th anniversary set that you see here. And it's high def, by the way, and it came all the way from Honolulu. And the high def on it was just absolutely incredible. It was crystal clear. It has both Japanese and English audio tracks. And I just love listening to the Japanese version with English subtitles because you get more of a dialogue story that way. The English audio tracks, I mean, they suck. And if you're a hardcore Godzilla fan, you will, you know exactly what I'm saying. I was going to do my review on Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, but instead what I'm just going to do is I'm going to show you the collection that I have at the moment. I loved Godzilla, was more of a fan of Godzilla than I was of Gamera. But one year when I was very young, my mom got me a VHS tape of Gamera, the original black and white, and I fell in love with that. And I think I still have that on VHS tape somewhere. I just don't own any of the old black and whites on DVD, and as soon as I can afford to, with the money that I get from PowerShop, I'm going to try and order some of those things online. Now, the collection that I'm going to show you, as a hardcore Godzilla fan, I saw Godzilla 98. A lot of people love that movie. The younger generation loved it. As I am an older generation, I grew up with the 1954 version of Godzilla. So when I say the 98 version is as good as a standalone movie, it's good as a standalone movie, but it never should have been called Godzilla. And that's my final opinion on it. Now, you young people who only ever saw Godzilla 98 and enjoyed it, more power to you. But I recommend, if you did not see the original Toho Monsters, go get the Godzilla Collection box set and watch that, and then tell me how you liked it. And then you'll see why all the hardcore Godzilla fans are so rip-roaring mad about the 98 version of Godzilla that the Americans made. Now, hopefully Godzilla 2014, when it comes out, will be much, much better. I'm crossing my fingers on that, guys, because I just hope they don't screw it up. And let's hope they don't kill Godzilla off like they did in this 98 version, because that was so crappy. I mean, Godzilla has, like, armor-plating skin. I mean, you armor-piercing missiles, you can't kill him, And, so anyway, let me get to the rest of the collection that I have. The worst of the Godzilla collection was Godzilla's Revenge, aka All Monsters Attack. And I hated that movie, but on the other hand, being on disability, I actually kind of understand from a young kid's point of view about bullying and using your imagination and believing just escape another dimension into another world. I did that a lot with my writing, my role playing, so I can sympathize with that version. Now, it was horrible, yes, because they used a lot of stock footage. But on the other hand, they were trying to teach some values. And, but and this goes for anybody, if you're being bullied, you really do need to stand up for yourself, and you need to go and, and inform someone in charge. If you're like me, you've been told all your life, don't fight, it's not worth it, even if you're made fun of and bullied. And I was made fun of a lot when I was younger because of my disability, and I wouldn't socialize with a lot of people. So, because I knew that I was different, and because of that being different, you really get isolated a lot. And I isolated myself a lot because of that fact. I couldn't fit in with a normal crowd. I was not, one of my best friends got to where she wouldn't be friends with me anymore because they would make her help me with math in grade school. And this was before they came out with special education classes for those people who had trouble in classes. That's why Godzilla's Revenge, it strikes your heart. Unless you grew up in those circumstances, you really don't understand it, and I do, because I grew up in those circumstances. And yes, it is the worst Godzilla movie ever made, but on the other hand, you gotta love Big G. Manila, they could have done better with the son of Godzilla, trust me. That's why I like some of the older starting in the 1990s, when they did, Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. I loved how they redesigned Godzilla's son. That was awesome. Godzilla Final Wars in the Millennium series, that was a better design of Manila than I have ever seen anywhere else. Yeah. So, up next we have Godzilla vs. Mothra. And again, these are versions that I have that are English dubbed. They don't have the Japanese soundtrack. However, the Godzilla collection that I'm getting should have both versions on the disc. So once I get that, I will do a review of that one. Then, of course, I have Rodan. I did have Godzilla King of the Monsters on DVD somewhere, but that is in storage as well. So, and this is Rodan. I have Rodan. Now, here is Godzilla Final Wars, and I at least have that. So that was awesome, and I still enjoy it. I watch it every day. The only ones I have yet to collect are some of the Millennium series, Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster, which I actually have on VHS tape. I have Godzilla vs. Gigan on VHS tape. I believe I have Godzilla vs. Destroyer on DVD somewhere, but it's in storage. I have Son of Godzilla on VHS tape, and I think I have 2 copies of that actually. I know I have Godzilla King of the Monsters on VHS tape somewhere. But as to getting all, like I said, I'm rebuilding my collection. The only things I don't have is Godzilla 1985 on DVD. Some of the others, I'm just rebuilding my supply back up. And now we're going to get to the Gamera trilogy that I have. Up next is Gamera the Guardian of the Universe. And I loved how they updated Gamera. This was actually great buy when I got it on the Amazon, and it was cheap too. And then we have Attack of a Legion, which is great. And then Revenge of Iris is really weird and bizarre, but it was great. Let's see. That's actually it for my Godzilla collection at this moment. But as soon as I can, I'm going to try and get Godzilla vs. the Slug Monster, one that Sony came out with. And that's expensive, but I'm going to try and get it. If I can get it like new or used and it works, great. But I know that Sony is not re-releasing anything, and I know that Classic Media can't get the rights to re-release anything else. So until they do, some of us are out of luck. But I think what's going to happen is that when Godzilla 2014 comes out, a lot of the Godzilla movies will get re-released either to Blu-ray or DVD. And I'm thinking Blu-ray because most everybody now has Blu-ray. But a lot of us who are poor can't afford the Blu-ray, and from what I understand, Blu-ray is very easy to scratch. And, DVDs are a little bit more sturdier, and they're not as easy to scratch. So maybe someday somebody will fix that, and, they'll be, less easy to scratch, I guess. But until then, I'm going to stick with buying DVDs, because that's all I've got to play on is DVD on my laptop, DVD on my TV, and in the living room. So, if they release everything on Blu-ray, that's going to really suck. But when I get my new movie, I'll review that, and, so there you go. Peace out, everybody.